Ooh.
Hey.
Sziasztok! Hi!
Hi.
Hi! So, before we start, hi guys.
Hi.
We had a wonderful day. I'm in a sandwich with two princesses, but they will tell you more.
Princes.
Oh.
No sex change. So
Yeah, exchange or sex change?
whatever.
Hey, I'm a princess. I know that about me.
Okay, so sziasztok mindenki! A mai beszélgetésünknek a címe a testet tudja. Hogyha szeretnétek magyar nyelvű tolmácsolást, akkor elvileg nem, ez nem az a link, akkor már is berakom nektek ide, és akkor be tudtok lépni a Zoomra. Rékuval meg fogjuk osztani a legtöbb csoportban, vagy elvileg már meg is osztottuk a legtöbb csoportban. Ebből is látszik, hogy már elég felkészületlenek vagyunk, mert hogy a Dén nagyon sokáig mondta a magáét. Úgyhogy...
Wow, look at that graphic. That's amazing.
I did it. What do you think?
Incredible.
Okay, so there you go. Okay. Szóval beraktam nektek a Zoom linket, a Facebookon is láthatjátok, meg a YouTube-on is, úgyhogy visszaváltunk angolra. Köszi, hogy itt vagytok. Hi.
Wow, hi.
It's really nice to have you guys. So I wanted to do this Facebook Live because this is so funny. Brendon is coming to Budapest this week.
And you guys live there.
We live there. We're going to go and have some dinner, but beyond that, we're all having a class.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you can talk about that. One thing is like the competition part. And then also because you have a 3-day body class, starts on Friday. And then Andras has a bars class on Saturday. But I'm got to do the registration for him. I do. And then I have a bars class on Sunday. It's all booked out, so you guys can't get a ticket anymore. We have, I think, 3 spots left. Yeah, it's just insane. And yeah, where to start?
Well, where to start is you're amazing for having that many people in a bars class.
Thank you.
I mean, what a gift. And you also.
Yeah.
But even with that, so you've got how many people?
350.
And you've got 60 people?
Around.
Yeah. But what makes one greater?
Nothing.
But that's the thing, that we automatically go to that based on what our judgments are, rather than look at it and go, wow, what a gift, we have that. And then I have like 2 people coming to my body class. No, I'm kidding.
Well, just go there.
Yes.
It's like you're from down under Australia, and there is a beautiful singer, Olivia Newton-John, who sings "Let's Get Physical."
The star of Greece, baby.
yeah. So let's get physical.
Yeah.
Use your body.
But also that thing with competition, like in order for me to go into competition, I know I have to make myself less than to begin with.
Yeah.
So you already diminish you, but I see for so much of us, this is how we've been. You know, it's almost like I notice when that energy comes up for me, where it's almost like this automatic thing of, oh, you've got 400 people, I've got this, I'm automatically less than. But that's who. First of all, who does that belong to? And how many people do we grow up with that point of view and instantaneously buy it as ours and walk around the world thinking that's you when it isn't?
And not just that, I just realized recently, it's just so fun. I don't know how Andras feels that, but so many people have the projections that we are in competition. And then I really do have to ask questions around that. Not like you, but other people sometimes that I'm seeing someone else's classes and I have something come up and I'm like, I know it's not me.
Yeah.
And I have to be so aware of not going down that road and taking that part, right? Like, oh, I don't know, having something or just having a moment with someone. And I realize I don't care in that way. It's just that people project at you that you guys that compete or just,
It's like beyond competition, there is appreciation and really seeing the value. Like, you are one of my favorite facilitators.
Yes, mine too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
you and me
it's
too.
like and also what she created and constantly
phenomenal.
kicking my ass about my creation. It's also a huge contribution. So
you know,
what?
Do you guys remember when we were at the castle? You don't remember, I know, but you told me already. But Andras maybe remembers. And I had a moment because someone was copying my website. And I got to the mic and I'm like, Brendon, someone is copying my website and they're taking off all of my legal stuff and I hate it. I paid so much for it. And what is this? And you were like, what would it take for 10,000 people copying your website? And I'm like, oh,
and it's
thank
interesting
you.
because now you're creating it.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, because that was based on you looking at how do I need to compete with this?
Yeah.
And you got the awareness and went, oh, I don't need to compete. I need to create. And that's a very different thing because you can't create from competition. You can only judge. And so I think we can all relate to this, though. We can all look at where we've gone into it and kind of fallen for the trap and went, oh, I need to compete. I need to compete. I need to compete. But one of the questions I love to use is, if I was truly being me here, what would I choose? How would I be with this? And I say that because, once again, I think we can all relate to this. I think everyone around the world can probably go, oh shit, I see where I kind of do competition or I'm trying to compete. Is that you being you or is that you being someone else?
Or less than you are.
Yeah. And it also doesn't allow, one thing I know is one of the greatest energies, call it, for creation is the kingdom of we, which is basically gratitude. Like when you're like, oh my goodness, like you have that, like that is so phenomenal. So there you go, different perspective. I could talk about it all day, and I also have no brain. Like
we didn't even say that we were late because Dane's last session went longer.
Oh man,
yeah,
it was amazing.
Really. But
it was amazing.
I have a bit of brain left, maybe.
We don't have a brain left.
So what about bodies?
Yes.
I it's like bodies. My body was the most ignored thing for me for years, and I'm really thankful for access. Okay, bars is the first thing where you actually touch the head and you change point of views and judgments and
learn
whatever.
To
learn to receive just by touching that physical thing, and then there is the amazing 3-day body class and all the body processes, and wow, they were a huge contribution. My huge thinking head, trying to solve everything and thinking
lose some weight,
which really works well, doesn't it? Not kidding.
I actually had a really interesting moment today, because I took, I don't know, 4 or 5 SOP classes already. And today was the first session when I was really there with the body, what it was requiring from me. And it kind of felt like sexual. When other people talk about kind of this sexualness and that energy that comes up for them, it was just like, I could eat that woman's body. That was my feeling. And she loved it so much. So, and the touch that I had on her body, I realized how kind and soft, and it was really amazing. And I think we are in this box when we start with bodies and your body, right? And it takes time and effort to just kind of getting out of the box and be really open. And I think with touch, and especially with the 3-day body class, I remember it changed so much for me, not just with my body, but like being related to other bodies also.
Yeah, truly. And I mean, if we look at that sexual energy, is how much do we try and shut that down?
Yeah.
But it's not, see, because we live in a world where sex is something that's judged as good or bad, or how do you do it right and wrong. And it's got so many different layers of judgment to it. But in order to shut down your sexualness, you don't really, or shut down that for you, you don't really know how to shut down one or two parts. It's either all or nothing. So we just go, but how many people are judged as a kid of being too much, you know, and I say sexy, but it's not even that, because the energies of sexualness are healing, caring, nurturing, generative, expansive, creative, joyful, and orgasmic, which is basically the energies that you create your life with. So that thing of, you know, I just wanted to eat a body, like it was just like, oh my goodness, this energy is so yummy, is how much do we shut that energy down? Well, what if it's the exact energy that's actually going to allow you to generate your body? But here's the other thing that always spins me out with the body classes, because people will come along and be like, oh, you know, I got this going on with my body and rah, rah, rah. They'll take their attention off that. They'll start receiving from these processes, and not only what's going on in their body may or may not change, but it seems to become less relevant. What's actually going on in their life, that's the thing creating what's going on in their body, begins to change. Yeah. And then they go, holy shit, my life's actually changing.
I had a moment once with Dane. I met him and I just started to have herpes. And I was like, fuck, I'm just going to have herpes again. I fucking hate this. And he's like, he was this huge space, and he asked me, he's like, is it yours? Really? And the space from which he asked me the question, it allowed me to realize, oh no. And I did not have herpes ever since, ever again.
Yeah.
And I had every week, once a week. I was like, I can't believe this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was like, wow, yeah, that's not mine. I don't know whose is that. But before, I was in a judgment that it belonged to my mom, because my mom used to have that. And also one of my sisters. And do you know, that was like the family thing, is like, oh, there's three of us, we always have herpes. That's just who we are. Or that's just what's going on. And I was like, and I kind of bought that. And I was like, yeah, we are like a herpes girl in the family. And then it was just gone. And I knew it was just so interesting. I don't know if you guys had this moment in your life when you knew it's changed and it's never going to come back. Oh, and I just had that with me. It was just, it's just, I'm still amazed. I would like to tell this story to everyone, because I thought I can never change this. Sometimes I'd have one here and then here and then here and then here. And it was just a going round on my face. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And that's the really important thing, because sometimes we treat our body as the unchangeable, like maybe I can change something here, but not the body. It's physical. But please ask the question, because it can change in a split second, and with everything, not just herpes. Like today, I had this SOP session with a beautiful Arabic girl who started moving and moaning, and it was like all the visual and auditive clues of an orgasm, basically. And as I checked in, it was not just the body, but the whole being, and it was in a way sexual, but not the way this world thinks, and just asking the question opened up a huge space with it.
That part, though, asking the question opened up a huge space with it, and if that alone. But it's like, see, because that you can't make cognitive sense of that. You're like if you even go to thinking with that, it's like, what do you mean? Ask a question and then the space opens up. But how do I get the answer? And then what's after the answer? Like, you basically, as soon as you've gone to thinking, you've gone to stinking. You know, and it just is that way. But one of the things I love about SOP and the way you just described that is it's about following the question. But this is the energetics of creating your life also, is I know for me, as soon as I come to a conclusion, that's it. I've stopped.
I never did that.
It's the same with your body. As soon as you come to a conclusion of, oh my God, I'm 40, or oh my God, I'm 50, or, you know, or my mum had this, my dad had this, you know, whatever that is, then our point of view alone creates our realities. And that, we've been talking about that forever, but you kind of get it more as you go. You're like, yeah, now I'm kind of getting it a lot more. Your point of view alone creates your reality and your body.
Wow. I remember I took my first bars and foundation class with Andras.
Oh, man.
And I wanted three
Lucky
things.
you.
Yeah, I wanted three things. I wanted a rich guy. I wanted to get rid of my mom. And I wanted to lose weight and be nicer, look nicer, because I was fat.
Did you get rid of your mum?
No, I love her.
Oh, so you got rid of your old mum. You got rid of your point of view about your mum.
No, yeah. So Andras told me. I mean, he never told me anything. He asked me questions, but that's what I used to say. Andras told me. So yeah, I was talking about my mom, and then he asked me questions, blah blah blah, and then my mom texted me in 5 minutes. Hey, how are you? I just wanted to say I love you.
Isn't that amazing?
I was like, Andras? She never said that before, Andras. Look at this. Oh my God. My mom did that. I couldn't believe it. And she's amazing, by the way. So, and then I wanted to say something else. So I realized, when you go to one class and you really focus on something you want to change.
Oh boy, do I.
And then everything else changes. And it's just so funny for me with the 3-day body classes. I always went to the class because I always wanted to be skinny. Skinny. Don't laugh. Andras knows this. I always wanted to be skinny. And it never changed. But my whole life has changed.
Yeah.
I got money. I got nicer things, and blah, 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 better relationships. And I was just keep focusing on I didn't lose weight. And this is kind of interesting. I see with the people that are coming to my class now, and it's just fun for me to see and watch because I did the same thing. But what happens to people when they come to a 3-day body class?
Well, I think you just said it very well. Because most people look for and create a problem as the source for motivation to change. And I think we can all relate to that also with our bodies. It's like, unless I have a problem, then I'm not really in question. Or unless I have a problem, I'm not really looking at something different. Well, what if there was a completely different way of being with your body? And like you said, I came along to get skinny, and that didn't change, but other things in your life started showing up, because who does that shit belong to begin with?
Yeah.
Where do we look to as the perfection or the image that we should be creating our bodies as, rather than actually enjoying the hell out of them?
Yeah.
And so I've seen so many different things, but one of the things, same with the bars class, is it's about learning to receive.
Yeah.
Actually learning to receive. And it's interesting for me because I've done these body classes in so many different countries now. And you can see the difference in what people will and will not receive based on the conditioning culturally as well. Like I've done a body class in Saudi Arabia is very different than a body class in South America. Similarities, but different, to say one in Budapest or one in other, whatever. But it's interesting how we've been, well, let's just put it this way. There's a whole different universe available with receiving that we can actually step into that doesn't look anything like you think it's going to.
Yeah. Wow. So you are coming?
I'm coming.
And you guys start on Friday morning?
We start Friday. You start Saturday. You start Sunday. See, we're a trio.
And there's a space, and what it's not just add up.
Me too.
It probably exponential as I visualize the space.
Yeah.
So
it's can I say something to
let's
you?
fuck up Budapest.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So I remember I moved back from San Francisco, and I had only one in the past 5 years. I had one bar trade because Andras came and I wanted to see him, and he was like, "I'm coming to a bar trade." I'm like, "Okay, I'm organizing it," but I never did again. So he showed up, and I was like, "Andras, what would it take to have like 1,000 people in a bar class?" And he's like, "It's a choice." I'm like, fuck yes. I can't believe this. I'm like, yeah, say something else. And then we have a friend, Timmy, and she helps me, and sometimes Andras with the bar class, just organizing, blah, 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 and be there. And then at some point, Timmy was like, "Hey, Nikolett, can I say something? I just want to say something. It's happening." Because she'd been there at the bar straight and she heard the question that I had to Andras. And, I really wanted to have 400 people in this bar class, but we realized we can't fit 200 beds in the room. So we can have only 350 people. And I was really upset. And then Chris came into the picture and Chris was like, "Oh, that's amazing that Andras have this bar class because his people adapt to my class or my class adapt to his class. So we are having 400 people now." Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, that's true."
But that's the part. That's the part of contribution that allows things to show up, not the way that you have, not in some particular way. Because I remember I used to facilitate the global bars class.
I remember that. I took one with you in
and
Mexico.
I didn't realize at the time, but what I was asking for, I couldn't receive because I was deep into addiction at that point, which, I've been working on for quite a while now. But that's not the point to this whole thing. But at that, the last two that I facilitated, I was asking and getting a sense of what it would be like to have 10,000 people at a bars class. Wow. No idea, but I was energetically asking for it. Dr. Dane here does them now. And the one that he did, I think last year, I think it had 4,500 people at it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. I was asking for something that didn't necessarily have to have anything to do with me, but that's part of what we can all create together also. Otherwise I'd be going, well, but I need to, it's like, no, it's
absolutely.
So if we added that to them, then, we're getting there.
What would it take to have 10,000 people in the bars class? That's so amazing.
Well, and if you look at like what Global Bars Day just created around the world also, like it's, man, I've never seen anything create what the bars create. Let's put it that way, and the body processes.
So our friend Sabo Peter filled up a whole stadium.
10,000 people.
10,000 people
in Hungary.
In Hungary, what would it take to fill up a stadium with access stuff? Because he's doing like more like a motivational thing. Okay. So, but what would it take to fill up a whole stadium?
I remember when Peter was choosing that, it was just a choice. He told me the story. He was like, he told his team, it's like, "Hey guys, well, what if we just organize something in a stadium?" And they're like, "Yeah, let's do it." They just asked for a quote, and the quote came back. He said, "Okay, let's do it," and they just went for it and then created it. And they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, well,
and they filled up the whole stadium. And you know what he said? I love that. He said, "Are you committed to your life so much and to your dreams, and you are believing in your dreams so much that you would say, if I don't fill up the stadium, I should drop off and then die from the stadium." And he was like, "I'm going for it." And he asked us, because we had an event a month ago, and I invited him as a speaker, and he said that, like, "Okay, think about your dream." And you were like, "Okay, we got the dream." He's like, "Do you believe in yourself so much that you will do anything to make it happen, that if it's not happening on that day, you drop off and then you die?" Right there. And I was like, "Fuck yeah." I will.
And that terrifies most people, though, because it's a level of commitment to you and a willingness to actually be and do what it takes to create. And I mean, that's one thing that, I would love to say that I have that with my life in general, but I don't. I know the areas where I still try and escape.
Oops.
Oh, we're back.
Okay.
That's the thing I love about Access, and the thing I love about the facilitators that are willing to show up and just, kind of just be them, is we don't try and appear to have this right. It's like, we're here too. We have the tools, and we're using them also. And it's like, that to me is a gift. And that's what, that inspires me when I see somebody who's just like, "Hey, I'm here. What's and all, and I'm willing to contribute, and I'm also, it's like that to me. I'm just like, I am drawn into somebody's universe who has the willingness to be vulnerable with themselves.
It's just amazing, isn't it, that we have 3 classes going on the whole weekend, and how many people get to be in kind of like the same place and then running energies.
Yeah. At a certain point, access got so big that
can we acknowledge this?
Yeah. So it's got so big that something is going on each day, I think each hour, around the world. So if we just tap into that energy, constantly contributing, receiving contribution, it's wow.
And man, what if this is just the beginning too? What else is truly possible that none of us have ever considered?
Wow. So what's the deadline for the 3-day body class?
Get your butt there. It's Friday morning.
What time?
I think it starts at 10.
10? So you guys are supposed to be there at like 9:30ish.
Yeah, so it's like
the bell will tell us, because Bell is here.
Can we put the registration link in there?
So somehow? I'm asking Bell, please put the registration link here, and we're gonna share it around.
Do you want me to like send it to someone?
Yeah, you can send it to me.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you, and we'll put it in there for you guys.
Yeah, that's perfect. Andras, do you have more space left, or you guys get?
I have to check, maybe 1-2 space.
And I just want to point this out.
What?
I just want to point this out because Andras is having big classes again, because he used to.
I know.
He used to.
I know.
And now he's like, he's just, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just
and what you gonna do? Thank you.
Well, and he's like, man, it's a fucking miracle. Like, come on.
Yes, he is. I love him. I call him Grandioso.
I like it.
Because he's a grandioso.
He's like a wizard.
Yes, he is. Yeah. What else? Should we add something else? What's the prereq? Like, tell me one, and then
okay. So
don't forget your word. So, what's the prereq for the
prereq for a 3-day body class? Is a foundation within the last 12 months, or an advanced class with, I think, Gary, Dane, or Simone. There's that, and I think, so I think that's it. But it's a foundation. If you've had a foundation in the last 12 months, then you're good to go.
You're good to go. If you took a foundation with Andras, then good to go. Not with me, because I didn't have a foundation class. No, I had one.
You had one?
I had one. Yeah, when you had something, right? Something like that. Something. Who knows? We always have classes. I like to have classes when Brendon comes to town.
I know. You don't like
it's always, he's like, hey, Nikolett, what's up? And I'm like, I'm having a class. He's like, no, I'm having a class too. I'm like, let's talk about before you come so we can hang out together. Because if I wouldn't have my bars class, I'm supposed to take your 3-day body class. But now, because of you choosing the same weekend, I can't.
I know. We'll do another one.
You do another one?
One day.
One day. Yeah. Yeah. So what else we should add, guys?
Hey, that's about as far as my brain goes right now.
Yeah.
Awesome. So then just say bye and thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, all of you, to join us, and come see us. It's amazing. And ask your body what your body requires. And then
if it gets all like excited and just be like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna do it. Then what's it gonna take for it to show up? What's it gonna take for the money to show up? What's it gonna take for me to be there?
So come and come.
There you go. Said from the master himself.
Yeah, and I gotta say something, because I just checked my website. We have 2 spots left. So if you guys want to come to my bars class, hurry up.
2 spots. There you
2
go.
spots.
Cool.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Bye. Bye.